Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're joined by a YouTube visionary, a commentary queen, a R&B recording artist, and a pet owner.
Yes.
Kennie JD.
That's the one I'll claim.
Yeah.
That's the only one where you didn't look surprised.
Everything else is just a fluke and seeing how far I can get about
YouTube?
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
What do you see? Are you seeing yourself now as a YouTuber? That is,
Yeah.
Hey, what do you do? I'm a YouTuber.
It's one of the things that I like kind of awkwardly have to admit to, like on dating apps and stuff. So it's like,
Hey, what kind of videos do you make? Did I get one of those?
yeah. Well, now it's just like movie reviews and stuff now. So I don't have to like,
Oh, that's nice and concise.
yeah. Because before I was like, oh, I edit videos.
Right.
I'm
a digital media specialist.
Hey, I just do content. That's kind of like innocuous now. So, or like
I work for a
synonymous.
media company
Yeah,
of one by me.
marketing was a big one
Yeah.
at one time, but now I'm like, yeah, I do YouTube.
Yeah.
When I only did podcasts, it was, audio production. Like, what kind of stuff do you make?
That's
It's like me
smart.
saying shit.
I love lying on dating apps. I think it's the best thing to do.
Yeah. I sometimes still like pretend I work in tech.
This is the safest option.
Well, you do in a way.
In a way.
That's true.
Yeah. I just feel like it's a lie I could very easily keep going. I'm sure I could date somebody for like a year and they would have no clue that I didn't also have
There's no follow-up questions to partnerships, by the way. If you say, like, I work in tech, and they're like, what kind of stuff? I'm like, which I used to do. I go like, partnerships. And they're like, that's great.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know enough to ask a follow-up question, actually.
That's awesome.
It sucks when
here.
you date someone who's really enthused, though, because I'm like, yeah.
Oh, dude, exclusively in San Francisco back in the day.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fetishization
I just like
of
the
tech.
enthusiasm more so than the actual word themselves. I'm like, go you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Love it.
Enthusiasm is good, just in general. You know what?
you're
Can we
a-
say we're pro-enthusiasm on this show?
Hey man, that one of my favorite dates ever was that Reiki healer / marketing consultant that brought a snake to the date.
Right.
That was fire.
You did mention that
was
in
great.
one of our Patreon episodes, patreon.com/sadboys.
Yeah, snakes only. That was fun.
That was
a
good.
cool date.
That was a good lead-in.
What did you do before YouTube?
I was a student.
Oh, okay. So you just went straight student
straight
to
into-
YouTube pipeline.
So I started my channel when I was like 16.
Okay.
So I had it for a real long time, but I didn't do it like full time until I graduated.
Yeah, we're young as fuck as well.
Yeah, we're so young. I think we're all.
Do you watch Fortnite?
I'm 28.
Oh,
Jordan's 16.
Yeah,
He's
so-
still- he's actually our
can
intern.
you stop swearing?
My mom doesn't like it.
When's your birthday? I'm 28 too.
January 9th.
Whoa.
Well, I didn't know why you didn't say yours.
I can tell by your eyebrows that you're a Taurus.
What is? I'm not
I've
even
never
gonna
heard that
ask
as a
follow-up
defining
question.
element before.
Yeah. Can you tell by my eyebrows that I'm a Taurus?
No.
Did you know we have the same birthday? We do. Me and him.
Same year, too?
No.
Oh.
No,
I'm
we
the
tried.
elder statesman.
Yeah, he's the elder millennial. I'm the youthful, exuberant
B1.
guy. Yeah.
Exuberant.
I'm the beta.
I'm the guy.
Tell you what the youths is into these days.
Oh, just, I to name them all.
That the clock app.
Kenny JD.
So yeah, the clock
doubt
app.
it.
Man, I remember when TikTok was a song by Kesha.
You guys fuck with Musically?
Oh man, I remember I was at Patreon when TikTok became a thing because we were talking about Musically because Musically was having a whole moment and like the post Vine, but then it was like, oh, there's all these like teens that are dancing and lip syncing, and that's crazy. And we're
What?
yeah, and then it was like the company ByteDance like bought. Wait, what was it? They bought Musically and they merged the apps because TikTok wasn't like a well-known brand in the States, but then it was when
I
it
thought it was-
merged with Musically
Oh.
that, and I know this because I also was back when I was in tech, I was like reverse engineering like APIs, and I remember looking at TikTok's requests that they were sending to their server, and they were hitting Musically endpoints. That is going to mean something to someone out there. My nerds.
And to circle back, the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I didn't understand a word.
Yeah. Well, something you do understand, Kenny JD, is bad movies.
I do.
and reality TV. I noticed I was watching your Love Is Blind recap to see if we had exactly the same takes, which we basically did.
Yeah.
Which means you're correct.
Okay.
The consensus was that love is not blind.
Didn't
Love Is
you
Not
think
Blind.
Kwame was a decent person at first, though?
I did think Kwame was a decent
Okay, so
person
then
at
you were
first.
wrong.
Well, that was a
But-
prediction based on one episode.
Fair.
But after watching the show, he is the most unenthusiastic man in the world. Because he would. Okay, so there's this guy Kwame. He is
I
a
just say
former.
I'm the avatar for people who have not watched this season. Because I just haven't got around to it, but I like the other seasons. So if
Okay.
you feel free to direct
I
explanations.
think if we
towards
were
me.
to like whittle down like key themes of this season, it's
well, how about you provide a
Charitably.
theme? I'll provide a theme.
charitably second chances.
Oh, second chances is interesting. For me, it was triangles. Love triangles.
Fair. Okay. Well,
Which shape
Yeah.
is your
it's
favorite?
the same,
It's the
same idea.
Yeah.
but
Because
one
there's
is
a lot
like-
more love triangles than you
one
would
is
expect.
like the way that like someone gives you criticism at work. It's like it's not bad, but different. Like
Yeah.
that
Do you think
type of
anybody
energy.
gets feedback about their work now where they go, I appreciate the project and the work you put in. It is mid. Your output was extremely mid this year.
I was looking at your slide deck on the marketing presentation for this quarter, and it was extremely based. So I wanted to
It was
congratulate
based
you
on
on
Epic
that.
Bacon, essentially.
For sure, certainly.
you-
No cap.
Do you intend? Do you intend on being quirked up in Q3? That's what the Q's for.
Yeah, quirked 3.
We're young.
We're young as hell, dude. I literally was hitting the gritty like earlier today.
Yeah, I was actually doing the jerk. No, wait, that's old now.
I was jerking.
Oh fuck.
Didn't they bring it back for like 3 days and then?
They did, yeah.
They.
Oh wait, do you remember when they brought back the Harlem Shake, but it was a completely different thing?
No.
Because
When?
Because okay.
I didn't get my like.
So when I
my black
was
person notification.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no,
they're
the-
bringing it back.
No,
they're
that's-
bringing back the Harlem Shake.
No, but I feel like the Harlem Shake was like co-opted a little bit, like
Oh, yeah,
culture
yeah.
vulturified.
Of
Because when I was young, in the Stone Age,
Grr.
I felt the Harlem Shake was something that you would see like Lil Romeo do in like a music video.
Yeah.
You know, like one of these. You know?
Certainly.
I'm sort of doing it in slow motion just to like pantomime.
Edits on that's gonna be crazy.
We should
Yeah.
say for the audio,
Oh, yeah.
for the audio losers, he looks insane.
But then in like 2015 or something, the Harlem Shake became something that they would do on Jimmy Fallon, where
Yes.
it would be like, it would, people would be like dancing normally, and then there would be a cut, and then everybody would be like in crazy costumes and shit like
I
that.
believe it was a Joji bit that blew pre-doing Joji as a musician when he was still Filthy Frank ostensibly. It was like a viral Joji video.
Timed.
Interesting.
Or Funky Frank.
Yeah, because it was weird. I was just because people were saying Harlem Shake all the time, and I was like, that's not the Harlem Shake
Oh wait,
that
are
I
you
knew.
talking about that weird like coke-driven fever dream of everyone doing do the Harlem Shake?
Yeah.
I think so. Wait, hold on.
It would be,
Wait, let's
yeah.
get
Hot, cut to black, cut back in. You're in like a Pickle Rick costume or whatever.
I was in high school, so I think it wasn't as recent
Oh
as
yeah,
we think.
it's
Yeah, it's a pink guy thing.
so. I guess there's gonna be a drop.
Yes.
I don't even think they changed costumes. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not what I recall as the Harlem Shake.
What's the view count on
Because
that?
it's not.
'Cause it's not.
Where are the like baggy
Yeah,
white
learn
tees?
hip hop dance, Harlem Shake. Let's watch Mahalo dance.
Let's figure it out.
Learn
Yeah.
the Harlem Shake. All right, it's been around for a while.
I've never seen like a
It has been
like a
around for a while.
tutorial.
I want to.
You
How to.
I love it.
I can't believe I found myself
let's-
here.
Welcome to
this
How
is-
to Dance.
Because everything
On
else,
Mahalo.
Mahalo dance.
So,
His name is Professor
Professor
Locke,
Locke.
and we're gonna respect him in his
Here.
classroom.
Okay, I'm
all right?
sorry. Dr. Locke.
He has resting angry face.
boom.
Excuse me, can I just say he's the
Boom. Lean to that
director of
shoulder.
Dance Touch
See the
Collective.
dynamic?
Oh,
So I would
yeah.
appreciate if you.
That's on his
You gotta give him
LinkedIn.
his like
He's tenured.
exactly.
I was just
Now we're gonna
hoping.
do
Now,
the
when I
same
clicked
thing.
this,
We're
I was
gonna
hoping that he
double
would show a
shake
little bit
before
of
we
an
go to the
example of
next
the
side.
dance at the
Here's
very
how we're
beginning,
gonna
so I
do it.
wouldn't have to watch it.
One, dot, boom, dot, boom, Boom.
Okay, yeah. No, this is the Harlem Shake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So steady feet, wiggling hips, shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we need to like triple time it though.
He's a dance teacher. He's getting there. I'm trying to.
This
need
is the director of Dad's No Collective. I do not know what to tell you.
respect
All right.
Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
how
This
old
is the Harlem Shake.
How old is
And
this?
boom, boom,
11
bop.
years, but-
Boom, boom, bop. Go
Well,
single, boom, boom, bop. Then shoulder, boom, bop.
I was in
Boom,
high
boom,
school.
bop.
No, but the Harlem
the
Shake.
actual Harlem Shake.
The actual
actual
Harlem
Harlem
Shake. I
It's like
could've-
2004.
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
like
I was
old,
watching
old.
like I'm not even joking. Like Lil Bow Wow was young,
Yeah.
and he was doing it in music videos, and like
Oh,
Lil
yeah.
Romeo was doing it in music videos.
He was like 6.
Presumably that beat just caught on, and then that video was was like blown up
It's-
by Pink Eye,
It's the infinite resurgence of like things
Yeah.
from
and then it was brought back. you say?
yesteryear.
Well, yeah, the pink guy thing, I guess, from yesteryear.
Remember
the Harlem Shake?
Oh my lord!
Back in my day, we were doing the crip walk.
I remember on the fields during harvest when it was musically. Hey, come on now.
Oh, that's fun. Good times.
2019 in this season.
Well, I don't know how we got here.
We were talking about Love is Blind.
talking
We
about-
definitely were not.
Speaking of Shake from Love Is Blind was a bad guy.
Oh. 2 seasons ago, yes.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. But we were talking about Kwame.
Yeah.
And he is a man who is a former professional athlete turned,
Yes.
I don't know, he works in tech.
Tech marketing type thing.
Yeah.
Partnerships.
Okay, so I disliked him immediately though.
Yeah, you had
Okay.
the read.
I think because I just have an aversion to people that feel like every word they say is a presentation.
He does give that vibe.
And so
Tech aesthetic.
and it's well, you know, even with tech people and like I think
Hate him. Get rid of him.
Tread lightly.
They suck.
no, well, I you know, I went to Michigan, so there was a lot of tech people at the area.
For college, or you just went?
college.
Oh.
Well, I lived in Michigan.
I drove through Michigan and I saw my fair share of tech people.
like U of M's like
Oh, yeah.
essentially a cult, and so they're kind of everywhere. But you kind of learn about the type of tech person
Yeah.
at U of M, and they're generally nice. They complain about not sleeping much, but I get it, and that's.
There's not a lot of conversation topics, really. Generally, it's that and like jujitsu.
It's like just them speaking in like fucking Morse code or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, and I haven't slept in 6 days. And then God forbid you say, yeah, I'm having a rough week. What did you have a rough week with?
How's your
Writing
work-life
papers?
balance?
Oh yeah, did you start a startup like me?
Did
I
you
was
start-
actually doing a
I
hackathon
made a
with 2 of my
fucking
bros.
rocket, dude.
Oh yeah,
at home.
that is a real.
I was driving my RC car.
And that man was Elon Musk. That
was driving
does
my
happen.
RC.
I remember back when I was in school, there was a bit of like a constant pissing contest of like you're not grinding hard enough.
Yeah.
Which sucked.
Fucking-
It
Results
was
is not
awful.
the thing you review, it's the
Productivity
process, right?
porn. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't slept in 4 years.
Well, I remember.
That's such an embarrassing thing to me now.
It is.
It just indicates
Oh,
a
it
lack
is.
of like self-control and routine, which is not
and
commendable.
like, you sound like not a fun person to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, you're just inherent.
well, we're having this conversation again. Cool, man.
So-
Improve yourself.
Do you know who Peter?
Still improve. Never be.
Change.
Do you know who Peter Thiel is?
Yeah.
Do you know who
No.
Peter Thiel is? He's kind of a conservative tech billionaire. Known for a lot of shady shit. But
Naturally.
back in the day,
If you can believe it.
he's one of the
Billionaire.
he's one of the PayPal guys. He's also a co-founder of this like defense contractor called Palantir. But he is most known for like being one of those like billionaires who's like pulling strings behind the scenes politically nowadays. He also bankrupted Gawker Media because of that Hulk Hogan sex tape scandal. So he financed Hulk Hogan's legal defense because he had a vendetta against Gawker for outing him, I think, because he's a gay man. And I think there was a Gawker article about that. Now, I'm not here to cast judgment on any of the things, but Peter Thiel has done about a lot of bad things, a lot of questionable things. But he is a product of like this tech world. And when we're talking about the glorification of I didn't sleep, I didn't do this. He had this thing called the Teal Fellowship back when I was in college, where, or maybe freshly out of college, where he would give students, promising students and founders and stuff, like $100K to drop out of school and start a company. And I think there were maybe 20 of them or something like that. And
That could almost pay off the loan.
and they all like lived in a house together. It's like the world's worst reality show, but it wasn't being filmed.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was just hearing stories about people like living in closets and shit like that. And because they were just trying to like minimize their spend, but they just like had no sense of self-preservation or like, I don't even know, like,
And their brains don't work because they're undernourished and they don't sleep. And
and it's all about changing the world. And I'm like, you need to change your sheets, my guy.
Yeah.
Like,
disrupt the way you're being.
yeah, disrupt the toothbrush. But
using it.
Yeah, but it vibrates. It's disrupting itself. But I just remember that as being like the peak in my mind of that culture, because it was truly seen as a
glorification.
Like it was like everybody who was doing that was congratulated as some like luminary, as like a 19, 20-year-old. I think you had to be below a certain age to do it too. You had to be like,
What did you
20
do
years
in
old.
college?
I double majored. International politics, economics, and development, and a Korean studies major.
Interesting.
Wait, so that first thing you said was 3 things, but it was 1 major?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
International studies and like the concentration.
Oh, I see.
You should have got an extra one. You know what I mean? For
Just might
doing
as well,
that, they
fuck
should have
it.
given you like a bit of paper, an extra bit. Made
They
it
give me
longer.
2. Technically, I have 2 degrees.
Yo.
What?
And
The fuck?
using
Okay,
neither.
hold on.
Can I have one
Stop
from
flexing
you?
on us with
What-
your 2
what-
degrees.
what-
I simply have 1.
Just to computer science.
It's
no?
just a big computer degree, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, just come back when you have
Some of
a
us.
film degree, okay? Yeah. Ever seen Chesky Said? It's fine.
I just came back. Well, I guess we'll eventually talk about Love Is Blind. Yesterday, I went to see.
Beau's
Beau is
afraid.
Afraid.
I saw you tweet about it. I was going to ask you.
I'm gonna cuss my manager out because I love him. I love him to pieces. He's like he likes the weirdest shit in film. So he was like, it's a masterpiece.
Is he like an Ari Aster guy? He likes.
Oh yeah, he's a A24. They can't do any wrong.
Right.
Similar fetishization, honestly, on the film media side.
Yeah.
As there is for like Peter Thiel started his own bizarre political party and stuff.
like it's 3 hours.
oh.
I'm not gonna make a video on it, so it can go here.
Yeah.
I can't make a video on it. It's a fever dream. I don't even think calling it a movie is appropriate. It's more of like, it's an experience.
Okay.
It's like taking you through a voyage of one man's irrational anxiety. There's a penis monster somewhere towards the like latter 10%.
I've always wanted to understand what it's like to be anxious all the time.
Yeah.
And pay money for
like,
it. I'd like to pay
it's
money
like,
for
fuck.
the experience.
What is that like? I couldn't imagine.
For 3 hours.
For 3 hours.
Is this going to be one of those things where like annoying male film students are like, this is the peak of cinema?
Well, here's the thing. I, before seeing it, because my manager, his name is Cole, he like texted me. He was like, guess what I'm going to see? And I'm like, you're going to go see that new Aster movie. He was like, yeah, they're doing an early screening. And then like the next day I saw someone tweet who probably went to the same screening.
Right.
And he was like, I will read it off because it was the most beautifully written tweet that I've ever seen. And it made me want to watch it that much more.
I've only seen the like most extreme takes about this movie on Twitter.
There is no middle
Yeah.
ground.
Did you like Hereditary and or Midsummer?
I love Midsummer more, but I did like Hereditary.
I haven't seen either of them.
Midsummer
Really?
Midsummer
I'm
made
bad at
me
watching
feel
movies.
like uncomfortable in a way that wasn't like evocative. Like because a movie, different movies have different emotional palettes, and
Right.
it's about how they deliver them. Midsummer made me feel like I was like someone was just holding my hand too tightly, and I just didn't want to watch it.
That's a very appropriate.
Hereditary, I loved, and I watched it very late. I was very. I watched it like
I watched it pretty
2
late,
years
too.
ago, maybe.
Where is it? I really need to stop tweeting so much.
A lot of pretty messed up stuff you're tweeting, actually.
What?
Yeah, we've got
Mr. Teal, please give me $100,000.
Yeah, we have a cancel corner where we just gathered a bunch of your tweets.
It's a gotcha podcast.
Yeah, it's a gotcha.
Speaking of like my anxiety
Answer for this.
personified.
Yeah. It's
Watch
a Twitter
this
monster.
You,
yeah.
This Ewing.
It's an entire segment called This You. It's like Hot Ones where he looks at Instagram, except for it's all your like worst tweets.
Yeah, we search certain like offensive
Like
keywords on your
sometimes,
history.
because I'm very fast and loose with my Twitter, if you haven't noticed. Oh, here it is. I went past it. So like you really could this you me, and I'd be like, I probably said that. Yeah, that sounds like
We
something.
just made up the tweet.
I've tweeted things that I don't remember. I was like, this is a fever dream. Quote, this is from at the Noise FM. Just left a screening of Beau's Afraid. Before credits started rolling, one guy in audience stood up and yelled, quote, I better not hear a single fucking person clap. Unquote. Another dude screamed, that's the worst movie I've ever seen. Unquote. A girl yelled, quote, a total piece of shit.
The same screening?
These are all people at the same screening.
Wow.
I started recording audio on another group that said A24 should be dissolved as a company and called it a career killer for Aster. I don't think it's a career killer.
Interesting.
But it's fanciful. Again, if we're going to be charitable about it.
We dubbed that. You said something really offensive.
Yeah.
So we dubbed it with fanciful is what we're going to do.
Fanciful
Yes.
is what we're going to say, and not the worst thing I've ever seen.
Please don't. You don't.
I
really
will.
say
I
it,
will give
'cause-
him this. Technically, it's an incredibly made film.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, I'll give him this. Technically, it's a movie.
It was there the whole time.
Arguably,
Yeah.
like I paid like $18 to see. Why is everything so fucking expensive here?
Oh, it's so expensive.
like I was like, oh, maybe I want to move. Never mind, I'll think about it.
We were just in Florida, and I was reminded of how cheap everything can be.
It's the first time I've ever aligned with those like super trite, like people will spend $8 at Starbucks every day, but they won't get Twitter Blue. I was like, well, I don't want
You will
Twitter
never
Blue,
get
but
a
I also,
dime from me.
goddamn,
I
wish
love that it
spent
was
less.
never verified, so I don't have to.
Oh, dude. But you're broke, actually. So
No, but I was never verified either way.
I would
So
know
it
you're the
didn't
real
matter.
one.
Did you see that metric where someone? I'm going to use some tech talk again to say, here's how they verified it. They used
0,
like
1,
the
0,
Twitter. Yeah, I'm speaking binary.
Just stop
they
beating
used
him
the,
up.
the Twitter API to like query users or something. And there's like when you get the information back from the API, there's a bunch of like information about a given user, and you can tell whether or not they're a Twitter Blue subscriber. And so they did this throughout all of like Twitter's users. And they were able to find that on the day that legacy verification went away, there were a net 28 Twitter Blue signups. Which is a wild
That's
metric.
astounding.
I think that this manner of verifying things could be fraught and could be incorrect, but I choose to believe that only 28 people net signed up for.
To make, if it were 100 times that, it would be embarrassing.
I think that it also came up to like there's 19,000 or something Twitter Blue subscribers, which is a very small
not
number
enough
at all.
considering how much money Twitter needs.
Yes.
Considering how many users there are that are very active.
I saw a tweet that made me smile. It was like Elon Musk was on a conference call and he forgot to mute, and you could just hear him softly crying. And I was like, what little justice, okay.
Crying in white South African, which is like.
Oh, yeah, that sounds French.
I'm rolling through.
Is
every
everyone
accent.
French?
In his world,
really
in Jordan's world, everyone he doesn't like is French.
Oh, I want you pay me for the dinner. My father owned the steak in
What's all you book? I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
Can't believe you. I'm going to buy Emerald Mine.
Did you see the?
No, sorry, I'm not. Don't attack me on Twitter.
Did you see that where he was like started trying to say it was a lie that his dad had an emerald mine and there was no evidence of it?
Suddenly?
Yeah, because it's a thing that maybe 10 years ago in interviews he would reference, but then more recently he was like, actually, this is false. And then not only on Twitter did they have the community context added where it was like, in 2014, he said this in an interview, but he said that he would give someone $1 million in Bitcoin or sorry, no, 1 million Dogecoin, I think is what was said. I don't know if it was $1 million in Dogecoin or 1 million Dogecoin, which is probably like 35 cents.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But if they could prove that this existed, and then Errol Musk, Elon's father, said, "Hey, can I make that money because I can prove that the emerald mine existed because I owned it." and then it was like, yeah, like Elon's siblings have all these emerald pendants and shit, and Elon saw the emeralds at our home growing up, and I don't know why he's like acting like he didn't have this.
And before you write the comment, owning any stake in an emerald mine is equivalent to that. That is contributing, that is benefiting from South African apartheid.
Yeah.
At all. I've never done any of it. So I actually haven't even done a little bit of that.
No, but it wasn't even like people weren't even trying to say that he was his father, right, in owning this mine. They were trying to say that, hey, you kind of like had an immense privilege, and it was kind of built on,
and there's this assumption like I'm self-made, and it's like you're not.
But then what is even his goal? Because what he can't say is my dad wasn't rich.
Yeah.
That's just not possible, because that's like ostensibly provably like the case.
His dad also
Just
married
had
his
a lot of money.
stepdaughter. There's just so much. His dad
is like busy being terrible.
Yeah,
There's too
his
much
dad
for one
married
life.
his stepdaughter, who was 4 years old when he married her mother. Yeah,
Morgan Freeman type beat.
Soon
did Morgan Freeman do that?
He married his step granddaughter, I think.
Ooh.
He asked Woody for ideas. It's like, hey, Woody, you have any? I just watched Midnight in Paris.
I was wondering how to be horrible.
I love your
How do we
work.
ruin every movie you've ever
Could I be
liked?
crazy? Where's Roman Polanski at? Did he move?
Yeah.
What was he known for? Only for Rosemary's Baby. Certainly nothing else.
I only weirdly recently learned that
He did romance.
the Manson's targeted his house.
Oh, really?
I only knew he has a bunch of movies that I quite enjoy and also was a sex pervert. That's like
So
all the
there's this
information.
third layer. You gotta do the
just-
third chapter of.
Sometimes there's little like cultural events that just didn't.
No, I
make
think
it
I
over
learned
there.
Small.
that from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Me too.
Yeah.
I knew
little-
maybe knew them. I like legitimately had no
Yeah.
idea he was married.
Just a little cult.
They shouldn't have done that shit, dude. That was fudged up. The Matt Manson shit. Fuck him. You know what I mean?
Fuck him, man.
Despite what you said on your Twitter about how he's funny.
What?
You said he was cool. You said he was hot. Charlie Manson. You were like, I may not agree with what he did, but you're one of those weird. Oh, have you seen those Twitter people that are like, oh my god, Jeffrey Dahmer?
I feel like I have
Breaking
to.
Bad.
I feel like I have to defend myself first before we change the.
No, we'll cut.
change the topic.
You can try. We'll cut it. It's a joke. She didn't say that.
We're making an entirely anti-Kendall cut.
Have you?
Again, this you cut.
We're the ops. We are the ops.
Like honestly, you just have to like search any point where I said I'm just gonna drunk tweet because those are fun. I was like, ask me questions. I'm feeling reckless.
Oh, sorry, but not to interrupt you. You said I'm going to need to defend myself. Were you?
Oh,
gonna-
I'm not a fan of Manson murder.
Oh, okay. Could we have Jacob cut that?
I am actually indeed not a fan of Manson murders.
We're gonna use like the Joe Rogan AI and
You
dub
can
it.
just yeah.
Right. So Love is Blind season
Eventually.
4 recently wrapped up.
Sorry.
Speaking of the Manson murders,
Speaking of being recently diagnosed by ADHD,
Netflix is murdering their own brand.
Yes.
Love is Blind season 4 was it was marked with controversy. I feel like a news anchor because there's a few things that happened. One, a small thing was that they advertised the reunion as being a live
Oh, I
broadcast.
loved it.
And then they just didn't do that. They
did
like
not.
had technical difficulties.
on Netflix was the idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a good old fashioned Netflix was like, hey, what if we were like
I
we were like
thought-
regular TV?
I didn't even know that was like. Apparently, it's the second one they've ever done. I don't know.
Oh,
the
they
first
did it in one.
A live one. Okay.
I didn't even know there was another thing. Not of Love Is Blind, but just in general.
Oh, in general,
Like,
right? Okay.
Streaming, and I don't know what the first one was, or if that's actually true or not. But I remember like being really revved up to do it, like watch it when it came on live because I was like, oh, this is gonna be
Yeah.
fantastic, and I just kind of fell asleep and had a headache, and then when I woke up, I was like, "Oh shit! I guess I gotta watch that."
Right.
Oh, can I curse on this?
Oh, yeah,
Chat.
of course.
Okay.
What the fuck are you doing? Only cool.
It's
ones.
YouTube rules. As long as
Butterscotch.
we don't like say bad words in the first 8 seconds. I
Yeah,
think
like
we're
that's
a
good.
right.
SpongeBob edit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a foghorn.
Yeah, and so I was a little late to it, and then when I clicked it on, it was like, we're still loading. And then I went on Twitter,
Yeah.
and it was like trending. Everyone's like,
Right.
what
What's
is
the
going on?
benefit of why do who
Well,
cares?
because if you watch the season, it's so tumultuous for no
Right. I think the idea is that you're going to see, it's kind of like The Bachelor does these live too, where you're like, oh, you might see some stuff because it's live.
unedited.
It's unedited.
And
yeah.
by proxy of it being live, it just ended up turning into this kind of like, the way I understood it was just mostly like little sly jabs at production.
Mm-hmm.
And it made production look really shitty. Essentially, like Kwame, there was some controversy because he said he wanted his name to be Alex in the pods. And
Interesting.
and it kind of came off as maybe a bit self-hating as far as him as a black man. And then
and he did do it. It's not like that was an idea and then he didn't do it.
no, he didn't do it because
interesting.
he went in as Kwame.
He went as Kwame.
But
yeah,
he was telling people
Yeah.
I considered going as Alex, and so it comes off kind of like, well, what does that mean? And then in the reunion, he's like, they conveniently edited out where I was like, I'm really proud of who I am, and I don't go by Alex. And so regardless of how that comes off, I want to be known as Kwame because that's who I am.
Right.
And I'm proud of who I am in my culture and stuff. He's like, that just conveniently got edited out though.
Oh my God. Poor Zach.
And then the thing that drove me insane, because after the reunion, a lot of people were really upset at the Lachey's in particular.
Yeah.
Because they did not come off well.
No.
at all.
In the reunion?
Well, Nick
No.
Lachey doesn't do anything.
He's just kind of like,
And Vanessa Lachey picks weird,
really wants
weird
people to
fights.
get pregnant.
Pregnant.
She's
Well, yeah,
she's
her-
like, so where's the babies? Oh, I want babies.
Yeah.
Where are my
How do
babies?
you make them?
Nick Lachey's only contribution during the reunion was to be like, we've taken a step back since season one. And it's like, we noticed. And you were barely there during
We
season
love
one.
that you grew.
Yeah.
And even though, asterisk, we put you through this incredibly, possibly panic-inducing situation, I love that you were able to build and grow from it.
Yeah.
And that you didn't let it get you down, that type of energy.
Yeah. But, and then, yeah.
Just to ask, is this one of the strongest seasons of the show
What do you mean by strongest?
versus
Yeah,
the other
that's a good
seasons?
question.
Is this
I'd
What
say
do you-
entertainment wise,
I think
it's one, for me, it's probably up there with season one.
it's rage-inducing.
Yeah.
So if that's...
There's a lot of WTF moments.
Yeah. And there's a lot of I think more so than ever, there's a lot of boundary pushing.
interesting?
So, arguably inappropriate, I guess, depending on who you talk to. People flirting a little too much when they have a partner.
Yes.
It was really weird.
Yeah. The mixer, the events where they hang out after the pods. In previous seasons, we've seen them have a weird conversation after they're seeing somebody they almost that they dated for a while, but ultimately didn't end up getting engaged to after they already have a different partner. And there's been drama before about conversations that happen in those environments, but this season took it up a notch.
like going back to Kwame, right? He ended up having a bit of a connection with another person that he didn't end up engaged to. And how it comes off in the show is he ended up engaged to who he ended up with because the other girl just decided to go with another guy.
Right.
So after they've now met, they also, that's another component. People are really catty this season.
Yeah.
In a way that I am not quite used to, because there tends to be a bit of solidarity between
I think
people.
maybe in season one there was that, what was his name, Barnett, and that
and his army girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah. Barnett went to the same college as me, so I remember him. But I feel like she was like, if anybody comes from Barnett, I'm gonna chop their head off or whatever. I remember her saying some shit like that. But other than her, I feel like it hasn't been super confrontational.
Was she the one? Angela was his other kind of closest person. Barnett and Angela, and then Angela
I haven't seen the
partnered
first
up
season
with
since
just
it came out. So.
she just partnered
I
up
can't
with the
remember
tiniest
names.
man in the world. He was very nice.
Yeah. Was that the girl that drank too much?
She was older than the other contestant. She was in her late 30s, I think.
Yeah, I just
and
don't.
what was his name? He was so cute. He was.
I know who you're talking about.
Guy. And he was the unfortunate part is he looked like a scaled down Barnett. And once Barnett rejected Angela, she just like pivoted to like, well, I'll just take the junior.
The mini version.
The Wish.com, more portable, yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of conflict this season, and a lot of boundary pushing is definitely a good way to put it, because
Were there any were there any people that were likable enough to kind of root for?
Yeah, Tiffany and Brett, who I think you had a much fairer assessment of them. I just thought they were boring because they barely show them because they were perfect the entire time. No. But it is a great like a non-problematic depiction of black love is like a nice thing to see on TV. Their conflicts, there's only two that I can think of. One is when Tiffany asks Brett, who is a designer who like works at Nike. And like a shoe designer and stuff. And his whole story is like he made designs on his own and like sent them around or something, and somehow got like an interview with Nike and
they discovered him on like Instagram.
Yeah. And so one of this only like you only see two conflicts, I feel, in the entire show. One of the conflicts is that Tiffany asked Brett if he owns any expensive items.
Yeah.
And his answer is, I kind of paid a lot for my carry-on luggage. And she was like, how much? And he was like, $1,200. And then she like was like, Brett. But I didn't think that, I mean, that's expensive.
That's expensive, certainly. But like the way they were kind of building it up, like he spent some crazy amount of...
He also works in a job where I imagine he's traveling a lot and in a lot of meetings where you have to keep up appearances.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting that that's one of the more expensive ones, all things considered. I mean, if he is...
That's what I was thinking. He says like outside of like technology and stuff.
Right,
like that.
outside of technology. So what he's saying is he doesn't have a watch that's super expensive. He doesn't have like jewelry that's super expensive. Things that you would typically associate with like a...
I'm a bad candidate for this because I spend money on dumb shit all the time.
But and you should be able to do that. I thought that the conversation was like, what does it matter if he's being financially responsible?
Exactly.
Spending like on things is only bad if you like can't afford it.
Right.
And Brett's like, I'm 36 years old, 35, 36. I'm like
I'm
very successful in my career. I
Yeah.
should be allowed to like have nice things.
I'm passionate about this.
And then
thing.
like his pants not fitting. That's
so that was the
essentially
second conflict. And that is my favorite conflict because they were working to try and make something seem the beginning of the season.
In the trailer, like
in the trailer,
they were like, "This is not.
This should not happen.
We should have planned. This should not. This is unacceptable."
Yeah.
And then when they actually show it, I was like, "It's just his shoes are missing or something."
You're like, "Wait, what happened?" And he's like, "Oh, my pants don't fit. They're a little. Could you bring them in a little bit, please?" And it's like,
I'm like an hour and a half.
Brett has to go to the tailor 90 minutes before the wedding.
And I was
Brett's
like,
pants are insane.
He was like, he's so unreasonable. Like some people were really like, he's being a groomzilla.
What?
It's his wedding, and
he's a
designer. I thought that was the most like. Honestly, the coolest thing whenever they like showed him is when he was being like very particular about his suit. I thought that was really cool.
I thought it was one of the few times you can actually see character in these shows because they bend over backwards to almost strip any personality from people.
Other than just like being the villain or the protagonist or stuff like that.
The example I was going to give is these weird conversations that they always have with their group of friends where they're like sitting around a table. It's like the producer said, okay, you and your 5 best friends or any friends, I don't care if you know these people, talk to them.
Yeah, my third cousin. And sometimes they just don't have enough community.
In town,
Have them interview you about how important it is after insert your personal strife here happened. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, after I lost Joe.
Let me see that trauma.
Yeah. That really affected.
They literally did that at one point.
Snap zoom into like, and who else?
One girl was crying and she was in like the bathroom and they like took the camera and they were like, oh my God, this is perfect. You can see her hand on his back. She's holding him sobbing. And it's just like, oh my God, look at it.
I was just thinking about David. Oh, it's David. What happened?
Have you ever asked yourself, like, if you were in a situation like that, like, what friends you would bring or something to like defend you?
If I was married at first, Love is Blind.
Yeah. If you were given the ultimatum at the circle, Love is Blind.
The mole.
Because they were in Michigan, So like
That's what this season was?
No.
This was Seattle.
An upcoming. Also, it bled into like Portland and Arizona.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because I think you're setting the people up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, how the fuck did you get
Yeah, I was
down
like,
there?
It was insulting to
I don't know
California.
if you guys have seen a map of the United States, but it's very difficult to
like-
bleed Seattle into Arizona.
And then it becomes like a major conflict for some of them, obviously.
Exactly.
Because like you're hella long distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, like an upcoming season apparently is supposed to be in Detroit. And so a lot of people were like adding me. They were like, oh my God, you should go on it. I was like, I would rather drag my ass on hot coals.
You should go on the show that you more than anyone else know is manipulated, like untrustworthy.
My edit would be fucked. I know they were giving me like, she's just awful. I'm like, you motherfucker's not getting me.
Like you have one of those conspiracy cork boards with all the things that they cut out deliberately.
I wouldn't even get engaged because I'd just be there like stoic and quiet. Hey, these motherfuckers ain't here.
Hey, what do you do for work? What kind of videos do you make? Doesn't matter. Do you have internet? In which case, whatever you like.
I don't even know what internet is.
Yeah, I live in the
I'm
countryside.
Amish.
I've never connected to the online.
What's making it so that this room is bright without candles?
Yeah, I don't really believe in technology.
We're the hamsters.
So the hamsters that power our town.
I'm one of the Arizona Amish.
Did you see? Speaking of horrible conditions, did you see the Insider article?
I have yet to read it, but people have been adding me. To me, I can guess.
Well, because
Like-
I have it on our list of things.
Oh, can I guess?
Oh, please.
Undoubtedly, people have been sent into some form of like breakdown. Because when you think about it, the actual like experience, the entire construction of it is you're sensorily deprived for 10 days. You don't have your phone. All you do is for 20 hours, you sit there and talk to a wall.
Mm-hmm. You're talking to a person one at a time at the most starved you are for emotional engagement ever.
Yes. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like, maybe it's a little late to get this empathetic now, now that I've made like a whole everybody sucks this season video. But like, I started to think about it, like that kind of context, like, and that's why I personally feel like I wouldn't feel comfortable being in like a show like this, even outside of like me being on social media, just simply because I couldn't imagine, like, I don't know, I'm hyper aware that I'm here to entertain
right.
in that context, and like by any means necessary. and
if I don't, they'll make it.
And if I don't, you know, and like, is it worth it for love?
Kendall never said it on screen, but mentioned off camera that she was thinking about killing everyone in the world. And becoming Thanos was something that she put up.
She was like, I won't stop until I've snapped half of them out of existence. And those are her words.
They've got you moving like a puppet.
So Insider put out, and this bothered me, this is a premium article that you have to like pay to see.
Which we of
and
course did.
And it's about the like horrible working conditions of the people on Love is Blind, but it's called Love is Blind is Hell on Earth. Contestants say producers deprived them of food and sleep, preyed on their anxieties, and refused to let them quit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is dark.
Refused?
Well, yes.
I've
okay,
always wondered what like the contract is like for this.
In this article, they say that if you do not have a producer's approval to leave, you can be fined up to $50,000. So that makes people want to stay because they're afraid that, you know, they're going to be out a bunch of money that no one has on hand. I
always wondered, because like, what is your incentive to go all the way to the altar?
Are you compensated for the show?
Yes, you're paid, as of this article, $1,000 a week, which due to sometimes shooting days exceeding 20 hours, you get paid you get paid an average of $7 an hour, $7.14 an hour.
Is that even minimum wage?
No, it's I mean in California, I mean they're not in California, but you know, it depends on where you are, but it's less than minimum wage everywhere.
Just to have like your trauma and turn into a villain online.
Yeah, it's not a lot of work, you know what I mean? It's like
you're also like living in a trailer with like 15 people, and like some people have said the bunk beds were so unstable that they were afraid to like sleep in them.
Why does this happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, just Netflix does not want this press, right?
No,
they don't want
not.
these optics. So just don't do that.
Just don't be an asshole,
Make
man.
the
Yeah.
bed good. Get another trailer.
Well, I guess here's the pessimist in me. It's like, I don't assume anything is done for people's comfort.
Oh
No,
no,
no.
But
So-
just in the most cynical way to
just to avoid
this.
bad press. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where they're trying to balance. I feel like shows like this and things like this are on this razor's edge balance between making as much profit as possible, cutting corners as often as possible, and trying to do enough to where it doesn't tip over into like bad press.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes they
Reality
fuck up that
shows.
balance.
Because not everyone that does the experiment ends up like on TV.
Right.
So imagine going through all that shit and you didn't even get possibly whatever benefit you think
Yeah,
you're getting
I mean,
from it.
Josh, who ended up with Jacquelina, apparently got engaged to somebody else on the show, and all of his stuff was cut. Yeah,
What?
yeah, that's alleged.
What a pimp. Oh, yeah.
I did hear. So remember when he was like, "I'm gonna pack my stuff if it's not you." Apparently, he said that to somebody else.
That's
too.
what I heard too.
That was just his line.
That was his line.
That's fucked up.
That's Riz, actually.
Fuck.
God,
bars
actually,
and-
it's funny to think the like weird warped interpretation. Because one thing that's always bothered me about this show and like some of the adjacent ones, especially Married at First Sight, even more so. Not to the point where it was something from watching it, because it is morbid fascination. But it does sometimes feel hard to avoid the fact that it's kind of silently a kind of Protestant Catholic relationship to marriage, where it's like it's very traditionalist. Like, these apps won't let you find love. These millennials
a
and
lot
their
of-
apps,
A lot of people for him, like, I guess I'm just, I'm more old school.
it's just
Even
for
though you're-
looks. And then they meet, and if they're not physically attracted to each other,
And
it
it's just-
dissolves.
It-
Because that
immediately.
is 50% of it.
Irina says, "Oh, he looks like a cartoon and bad."
he doesn't
I hate
blink
how he
enough.
blinks. Yeah,
But I'm already obliged to marry him, so I guess I
Right.
actually do love him.
Jacquelina's like, normally I'm into, I don't know, guys who are attractive, and Marshall's really not doing it for me.
It's his
And that's
weird
why
face and body.
I don't think that, I don't know, maybe this, and I think back on like kind of the hate, even me particularly giving to like people like Shake. Well, he was a dick, but like if
Shake
he
was an
wasn't, he
asshole.
was an asshole. But the core premise of like, I don't believe that love is blind, so that's why I wouldn't go on the show.
Right.
Yeah, guess what? If you really make this kind of connection with someone, and you are your sexuality and identity aligns with what would make for a partnership, and that is what you're looking for, and then you are not attracted to them, you just got a homie.
Yeah,
got
You
a
just
great
made a
person.
friend.
You
That's
got a great
great.
friend.
Yeah.
But I think it in part is just blocked by people's idea that, well, there's like, once you have a number of emotional points
Right.
with a person
You're
you
supposed
could
to be
marry.
able to ignore.
That's it.
Right.
That's
That
the
you're
rule.
not-
You can't be friends with
One
a
of
chick.
the do I want to tell this story? Fuck it. So like the preparation.
Gotcha.
No, one of the closest friends that I've made in the last year or so was somebody that I went on a date with. Like I met on a dating app.
yeah. I
And-
have friends like that.
I'm the type of person that like I'm not immediately attracted to people very quickly. So I kind of ignore it at first because I'm like, I'll end up attracted to people usually, which
It's like a
makes it
slow
kind of.
burn kind of.
Or is
so.
it like, I mean, there's also, the spectrum of like demisexual where you like have to get to know somebody before you can even, you can even consider
Right.
them
Like-
attractive in that way.
like if you look back on my dating history, there's no like type, if that makes sense. It's just like a person that I'm like situationally, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe the quote that you gave us was, I ain't got no type. Bad bitches is the only thing that I like.
They're not, they weren't even,
Oh, okay. Damn.
damn.
They actually were really good bitches.
It is. It's
Yeah, that's jacked up, actually.
It's fucked up getting fucked over by a person that you never found attractive.
Yeah. But
It's like, damn, I found the beauty in you.
Yeah.
And now you see them after they like piss you off. And
Yeah,
they're
you were
like,
like, you were
You
a
actually-
project.
Yeah, look,
That's
not
something that one
everything
of
can
the
work.
guys said. That's a quote from Marshall to
But-
Jacquelina.
Oh, fuck,
I
really?
was,
Yeah,
I wasn't,
What a
yeah.
legend.
They're both bad.
They're
Can you
both
believe
not
it?
great.
Yeah.
They're not great. So like we went on 2 dates. Like I couldn't hold his hand. I couldn't like kiss him, and I couldn't put together why.
Oh, you
were like
emotional
I
restriction.
So
physically-
you're Irina and he's Zach, and he's like, "Can we kiss?" And you go,
But
"No,
I'm
no,
not
no."
a liar.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Sorry.
the difference.
Sorry to compare you to one of the worst people from the season.
I'm like, first of all,
Yeah, you're saying you're scum.
Yeah.
Is your point? Oh, yeah, I see.
I'm just like overly honest, and I was trying to be like honest to him, and that's like why I was treating him like an asshole, but I couldn't get out of Mexico. No, we went on 2 dates, and in the middle of the second date, it clicked. I can't. You kind of, in a weird way, look like my cousin, and then I realized that's why I can't do this. And then I left the date. He wanted to like give me a hug, and I just did like the church hug, and then I left. And then I texted him. I was like, "Hey," and I didn't tell him that at first. I was like, "Hey, it was," and you know what's fucked up? It was the best date I've ever been on.
Oh
Damn.
no!
And that's how it usually happens. He like prepared a picnic. We painted each other's
Damn.
portraits.
Oh,
He
wow.
brought a charcuterie board.
Holy shit.
That's a whole
Wine.
bachelor date right
It
there.
was so
yeah.
You went on a
nice.
date with a production team.
Yeah.
It was just one guy. Hi, Kyle.
What's his last name and address?
No.
He's right
He's
there
single.
at the door.
He's single
Okay.
and a great guy. You guys should hit him, but
He looks like my cousin.
he looks like my cousin. So
I've never seen my cousin.
And
He's
he
like,
asked me,
unfortunately, I've been afflicted with cousin face, where I look like
not
everybody's
even friend
cousin.
zoned. You
Yeah,
look like
everyone's cousin. It's just the way that my face looks.
I feel like that's good news, though. Like if you're
was
getting
very early, yeah.
physically somebody's not connecting with you, but you feel like they are on this other level. And you're
He's
like,
so
is there,
cool.
And if somebody said to me then, it's because you look like someone I'm related to. I'd be like, oh, great, okay,
No, that's
awesome.
literally how
That's
he reacted, because at first he
the
thought
only good answer.
at first he thought it was because he painted me very poorly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because he was talentless.
He was like, damn, was it the painting? I was like, no, you look like my cousin. And I realized that on the second
It's
date.
funny that was it the painting. He must have really had that in his head. He was like, I
still
really
have the painting.
fumbled
It's
it.
in my living room.
Was it my charcuterie?
No, I love the charcuterie. It was best
my
seasoned
God.
almonds I ever had in my life.
Are you big date planners, like effort like planners? It's an event.
Right now, no. Like, I've never been a big date planner, just because
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge dater until very recently. Like within
That's
the
the thing
last
with fame and riches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was just awkward and uncomfortable.
You were like Bliss from Love is Blind.
Very.
No, sorry. I just keep making references to Love is Blind because there's such
It's
a
so
cast of
relatable.
characters. And
There's an archetype.
Zach and Bliss are awkward but perfect for each other. So good for them.
I didn't like
maybe
them.
a very good season.
It's
Okay.
really
I'm
good.
curious.
I think it's definitely worth the watch.
You didn't like them at first?
It's not that I didn't like them. Second chances themes,
Mm.
yeah. So he proposes to another girl first, and then they meet, and she's the one that's like,
You're my
Yeah.
cousin.
No, she
Well-
literally says you look like a cartoon, and he says
And you're
I know.
creepy, and
he
you're
says she's
like-
creepy. Oh yeah.
Are these true?
I mean, he's just an awkward
he
dude.
just, he strikes me as someone who's a little socially awkward.
He has a
little-
mural of 2 owls holding a katana in
That's
his
some
house
shit I would
you
do.
serious?
that he commissioned himself. Yes.
Okay, that's rad.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Like, he's kind of awkward, and he had like a bit of a, not a bit. He had quite a tumultuous upbringing, so
Yes.
that kind of makes him maybe a little bit socially awkward in some ways.
He
but
really.
He looked
really
like a
had a-
cartoon. That seems like a very.
Yeah, I
He
don't know
did
if-
kind of look like. Sorry, I'm sure he's watching.
I'm trying to think of a cartoon that's not
Well,
insulting.
a lot of people said that he either looked like a property brother, or he looked like to me he looked like Archer.
two very handsome examples.
He's not unattractive. No,
No, he's a
not-
good-looking dude.
Archer, a character whose joke is how good looking he is.
No, he looks. He's not unattractive. I think, and that really goes to show, like, if you're not attracted to a
Yeah.
person, it isn't like because they're like on paper unattrharted.
Despite
It's,
Right.
the fact that like love is blind.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
thought.
anyway, I interrupted you. You said you were you only started dating recently because you were awkward.
yeah, very religious upbringing.
Oh.
Yeah, so there was like a kind of like a refractory period where I was just kind of like, I want to date, but I don't know how.
Right.
And so I didn't start dating.
Were
until-
you religious after, like in college or after college? Does that you just didn't sustain it, or?
there was just like a long, slow phasing out period. I wouldn't consider myself particularly religious now. I would consider myself like a agnostic, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like I believe there's a generally benevolent God or gods or whatnot, but I wouldn't consider myself very. But yeah, I was raised very Christian and socially conservative and stuff like that. And so when
they're regionally pretty common where you grew up, is that like
I think more
your peers
so
were as well?
I think more so than the average around me.
What?
Oh, okay, interesting.
What corner of Christianity was it, if you don't mind my asking?
They referred to themselves as like non-denominational, but it was definitely like evangelical.
Oh, okay.
My parents, particularly my mother, was a very like religious person, so that was like ingrained. And so like when I went to college, I kind of just naturally found myself not as like there was just too much around me that didn't fit into this very like black and white view of like.
That's us. You're amongst friends.
Biracial brigade.
It really didn't fit through the biracial lens. Yeah.
I was looking at them in a kind of red bone vibe.
Sorry. So like I just kind of slowly found myself like piece by piece, like not identifying with a lot of things that were. And then by the time I graduated college, I had like reached this epiphany that like I'm going back home, and that's really when it was like the split, because I'm like, oh, I felt very black sheepish. Like I don't.
It's kind of you can never go home again, but with like theology and stuff.
And there was like 2 years before I moved out, and then that's when I felt comfortable dating, because I felt like I had to over-explain myself if I started dating, and I had to like.
I think that there's probably a lot of people who are going to relate to that.
No, absolutely.
You know, who
because I think there's this assumption, like people just like, and I make no qualms about talking about like being a bit of a later bloomer, just because that's like it's more normal than people, and it's more normal than people think.
It's so
like
common,
absolutely.
I think a lot of people are just like, I'm just like. I'm fucking and like I'm just like the man and
I'm just having bad sex every day.
I don't know the logistics of having a roster. Like how the fuck do y'all have time?
Yeah.
But like
Google Sheets helps.
Google Sheets,
Jacob manages my calendar. So.
Have an assistant.
Then we thought, you should do the podcast.
Yeah, I was like, you're so good at this. Maybe we can expand your role outside of just my hookup Cal.
Yeah. But now it's like the issue isn't even like I don't want to date. It's like Michigan is not it, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just fish wielding
the fish.
Just
oh
fish
my God. Just
wielding.
Like, what I caught. Is that like the dating app vibe?
It was funny because my friend, it got to the point that I was just so over it that my friends, just for funsies, was like, can we have your account so that we can swipe for you just to be fun? And 2 of them were on at the same time. I didn't realize that. And they were just talking to people and they were like, this is unfortunate. Like your choices.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just a bad read on that part. Or were they people they were attracted to?
Well, they know if I were to have a type, which I don't really, but like when I say a type of person that I'm attracted to, they have like a general idea, and they kind of like ask me like, why don't you date your type? And I was like, have you seen my type in Michigan?
Right.
So kind of fish wielding type?
Just fish wielding, camping.
Wielding is such a funny word, like a sword.
It's like he's going to slap you with it if you don't go on a date with it.
The art of the blade.
Bird watching. And that's nothing.
I mean, like, I get that too, because like in LA, there's a lot of people who love the outdoors, and the outdoors is fine.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's great. We need it. It's important to our livelihoods.
Just maybe they haven't heard about like The Last of Us.
Or like the inside, because I quite like it in here.
It's gaming as well.
Would you survive The Last of Us?
In The Last of Us universe?
Yes.
Okay, in the game where it's just fungal air in the game, and it turns you into a nasty. In the show,
in
the show, it's like if you touch a wall, right?
In the show, you have to like have a basically
You
they
gotta
have to
get
have contact
bitten.
with you. You have to get bitten.
Oh, that's so much more like.
Or like
You-
bring spore.
survivable.
In the show, they didn't bring the spore aspect
Yeah, there's not a
into
spore
it.
aspect.
Yeah, you can be bitten or touch like the fungal surfaces in the show, I believe, right? I didn't watch the show.
In the
show, no.
In the show, no. You literally just have.
I
to
don't
be
think in the
bitten, I
game
think.
either. You don't.
In the game, it's air and bites, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think I just don't.
Did you like the second one? Did either of you play the second
Oh,
one?
I haven't.
Oh, okay, then I won't say anything.
I think it is. I have enormous issues with it, but none of them are the go woke, go broke. Like, I had a wonderful time playing it. I cried in the credits, and then like the big over analytical shit that I am, I enjoy looking back on it and being like, this is what I don't. I can see why maybe there's some production trouble to be very presumptuous. How about you?
I liked it. I didn't like it at first.
Oh, you had like a little flip.
I played it once and just complained the entire time. And then I was like, okay, fine. Let me give it an actual, like, good go through, considering you set me up emotionally like this. And then I played it. I was like, oh, fuck, all right. I guess it's pretty good. All right.
I guess they didn't go broke.
All right, fine. And then,
What I will say, Jarvis, if you are ever tempted to,
it's very long, though.
it's very long and it's very, like, it's kind of like I was saying about Midsummer, where it's not just weighty in the same way that like the first one is. I completely would understand somebody wanting to turn it off because it's so miserable.
yeah.
It's so.
Yeah. Especially by the time you get to the end, it's just like soul crushing.
I would say it's cynically miserable in the way that the first game isn't, where there's no, well, there's some, but like it's not the focal point of the story. There's no relationship developed or arc taken in the way there is with Ellie and Joel. I don't know where the show ended, but even with the Firefly.
It ended at the game.
Oh, okay. So even the original ending,
Like shot for
granted,
shot. a
it's
lot of it.
bad, but they are still close and they have built a familiar relationship.
Right.
There's basically no equivalent of that.
And
It's just miserable.
and like the relationship she builds with like her partner.
Oh, well, that's true. That's pretty.
I mean, yeah, but I never felt they had chemistry, so I was like,
Not your type.
I mean, I felt like her and Riley had more chemistry, but she's dead. So
If I were in a real life scenario like that, I think I would try to die as quickly as possible.
no, absolutely.
Because I have no interest in living in a world where I'm not in comfort.
Oh yeah, dude. Where I like don't bathe on
inconvenience, like-
command. Well, you know what? There's like the start to the first game in all those kind of universes is we need to get out of here because the military is going to nuke everything. I'd be like, that's sick. Can I be where it lands? Yeah. So I'm killed the
I was
fast.
like, fuck it. Like,
My mouth open as the bomb drops. Please.
I do have a lot of nightmares where I'm like running away from danger, and I'm like, do I really have that survival instinct, or in real life would I just be like, you got me?
I don't.
I don't.
I'm quite squeamish.
because what am I fighting for?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what am
Exactly.
I?
I don't
what am I
know.
trying-
What am I going to do? Build a house? No.
They decide to. The only thing that they really took a lot of like artistic license with was like Bill. Is that his name? Bill.
Yeah.
They like made a whole story.
That was
for
sick.
him.
I like
and
that.
he kind of like.
People beloved. It's beloved, right? Like that's a really good part of the show.
In the
Or, like,
show,
a
it's
yeah.
good
so
episode or something.
good. I
Yeah.
cried. I was just like,
And all the dipshit 4chaners were like, they made him
They're gay.
which he is.
yes, which he is.
Which, in fact, I never liked how in the first game they
kind of just flippantly.
Well, they just include like there's some gay porn in his car, and they're like, oh, okay, there was an interesting subtle story here. But now in retrospect, I'm like, well, thank fuck, because now there's objective evidence,
Right,
that
right.
the Redditors have to be like, well, shit, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like they created this beautiful world for him, and
That
like,
was cool.
He created this beautiful
Yeah.
world for him.
Yeah, that was really cool.
There's a lot of maybe the side characters are wonderful in the first game, especially. You don't get to
good.
spend much time with Tommy. You don't get much time with Bill, but the bits you do get are. That's actually maybe the highlight of the second game. Tommy is like a really
Yeah.
Oh,
interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
character in the
because
second game.
Tommy was definitely left me wanting more in the show.
His
Especially.
behavior, I'll call it, or like his story, his arc. He has like a very full arc. Says a lot about Joel. Because it's like, oh, they both have this. Joel wasn't a crazy person. They're both, when shit needs to get done, they're ready.
Right.
And also, it's implied, you know, in the story originally, Tommy and Joel were doing fucked up shit for 10 years and like being smugglers and murderers. And then
Right.
I think
he
they
went to
leaned
Jackson.
more into that in the show a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
about
The
how-
illusions, at least.
He's in it, right? Tommy?
Tommy,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know who plays him.
He wasn't there much. He was just
Can't
there.
remember the actor.
I guess he's
Yeah.
on the game.
But yeah, he's introduced in like the first episode, and then you know, because there's all this thing of getting back to Tommy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like when you finally get back to him, they have like a few moments, but he's really not in it a ton.
I just remember that I have a Firefly tattoo.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's Skyward Sword. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, that's fine. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Because
It's easy, right? It's not scary at all.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, I was here like I was telling him beforehand. I was kind of nervous, and now I'm just like, guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
exactly.
everybody who's never or like has not as much podcast time gets nervous. Frogan was really nervous, and then did it and was like, "Oh."
I think
see.
also because there's kind of like a a wandering filter in my head most of the time.
Right.
So in the last this year essentially has been like me trying to like step out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways, like socially in particular, because I'm kind of a keep to myself type of person. Like all my friends have just like appeared, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
they spawned in.
I think when you're just 6 foot tall standing there and people are like, hey, you want a friend? I'm like,
They're looking up.
like dead ass. And so like,
You're in my eye line.
hi. It's like, okay, hi. So I haven't had a lot of like experience like initiating conversation and like
okay.
friendships and stuff like that. And also because of that, I do recognize that a lot of things that I do is kind of to myself.
Like hobbies and activities, or
Yes and no. To myself, simply because of just like logistics. Like my friends don't live super close by.
Oh yeah.
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 Most of my friends, the closest ones are 30-ish minutes away, but they're in like opposite directions. And we're mutual friends. So we have to meet somewhere.
Right.
And with Michigan snow, like one friend, her car is always like, she's traumatized. It's like really bad, like a lot of driving and stuff like that. And then everybody else lives out of state.
Right.
oh wow,
Yeah.
are those like high school friends, college friends, or something? What?
Online
The friend that
friends?
I'm meeting here, she's high school and college.
Whoa.
She is trying to move back to Michigan. And the friends that are in Michigan are both college friends. And then I have friends, like one of my closest friends was a subscriber of mine when I was very early.
Cool.
She's in Tennessee. I have some other friends that I met when I was in study abroad in Korea. They're in Florida.
How was study abroad in Korea?
It's great. I mean, I used to go every year before COVID.
Okay, cool.
What was the catalyst? I know you did Korean studies, but like, I guess what came first? Interested in Korea. I'm going to go. Did you exclusively study it there, or you did the
No, I
3 or 4
studied it.
years?
I studied it in Michigan. There's a pretty big Korean community in Michigan, so
You were like studying to be a K-pop star.
You're
joined
an
one of
Ollie
those,
London kind of
absolutely
person.
not. In a similar vein of like reality TV, I'm like, this just seems like a lot of fucking work.
Oh, it's a lot of
and
work.
I have no interest in that.
How long were you there?
I would go like 3 months at a time.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like, so the first time I went was 2015 and I went for school. At the time I was mulling over the idea of becoming a professor. So like for research and language studies and getting my Korean better. And then that's kind of like where my channel started. Like it was trying to learn Korean. And then, now we're here, however the fuck that happened, like 10 years or, oh my God, 11 years.
Wow.
Take that as a guiding light to anybody that feels like they don't know
Just
whether
do
to make
whatever.
content because
Yeah.
they don't feel clear about what
Just
they're doing.
do whatever. I've
Yeah.
done so much.
Yeah.
Like, and it's the same channel. And I just really appreciate my viewers because they're just kind of like along for the ride.
Right.
But yeah, and I was there at Seogang University and they have like a language studies program. I was there for like 3 months and then
Is
I
that
came back.
Seoul? Where is
That's Seoul. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went back and I went to Yonsei University, which is like essentially like a Korean Ivy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard of it.
And then after that, there was a period in which I was doing like trying to combine interests. So I was I like makeup and stuff like that. So
Right.
I was doing like K-beauty related stuff and I would work with businesses and I'd be out there and
Oh, cool.
talk.
Yeah.
And
Do you still get to be, I guess maybe it's harder now to be immersed in the language, but do you
my Korean sucks now.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because I spent so long. Like a lot of my college friends, all of us speak Korean. So like when I'm with them,
wow.
we'll speak Korean sometimes.
Oh, that's cool.
But
Why don't we have a language?
Oh, brother, we have our own weird little language. don't we? Every time we allude,
Yeah, it's Japanese.
it's watching weird reality television and referencing like Bruno.
That's
referencing
true.
Bruno from Black White is our language.
Have you ever seen Black White?
No.
Oh dear.
My brother in Christ. It is
I
everything
feel like
you want.
it might be up your alley. Maybe.
Is it a reality show?
Is it ever?
I don't even know.
It's of an era where reality television, but it's mid 2000s. It's especially like, I see some stuff was cut here. There's no way that there's a producer directed this. There's like no way.
It's a 6-episode series aired like primetime Fox. 2 families, black family, white family, swap races. They use like prosthetic makeup and prosthetics to swap races. Listen
You look
to
like
me.
you just whited out for a second or blacked out.
Listen to me. They won an Emmy for makeup in 2006. It gets worse. Ice Cube executive produced it. It gets worse.
No, stay, please.
It gets worse. After the show
There's more
aired,
worse stuff.
After the show aired, the entire cast went on Oprah, and they did a whole episode about racial bias season stuff.
That sounds very 2005, though.
Oprah has scrubbed this from the internet,
Of course.
but they do. They have a race machine. And there's this old ancient GIF on the internet of Oprah's face being translated into different races. It is wild.
Fully Cloud Atlas.
But yeah, the dad from it is this white actor who does not believe that racism exists. And so a lot of it is him antagonizing black people.
And
throwing out the N-word all the time, hard R.
he'll say it.
Yeah, he says it.
And there's no build up. It's not like it's episode 5. Bruno's decided to just say the N-word.
Oh, yeah.
Instead,
All right.
he's just like.
And I know what you're wondering.
I do think, though, like, one of the things I've always said to myself if I ever got the opportunity to meet Gabrielle Union is to bring up the movie she did called Neo Ned.
Never heard of this.
Called what?
Oh. Neo Ned.
Look at us exchanging problematic
This is
media.
Neo
Wait,
Ned
can I
is- wait.
before we start on Neo Ned, can I just quickly show you the theme song to Black White? Also, this is a white girl.
Was it also?
This
was
is
it
a
Ice-
white girl, by the way.
Yeah,
Very
this
much
is
so.
a white girl.
Couldn't tell, right?
And there's a lot of reveals of black friends that they make where they go, actually, I'm a white person. Oh, they send this girl, she's 16, to a slam poetry group. And she is with
poetry that is almost exclusively
about
like
black pain.
suffering.
It's
Like,
only about black pain and suffering. And she's there the entire time going, oh, they're so beautiful. Oh yeah,
Grinning.
her mom calls black people beautiful creatures. Well, it's just
which is
never,
nice. I
it
mean,
never,
that's
No, it's
you
not.
know what I mean?
yeah.
No, in a good way.
It's a good thing. Stop
like-
being so sensitive.
You want to be an ugly creature? Yeah, exactly.
And yes, Ice Cube does do the theme song.
I was gonna ask. Okay.
Did you get your race card? Hell no. I didn't get my race card. Did you get your race card? Hell no. I didn't get my race card. Black and white. Did you get your race card? Homeboy, when you get your race card? Did you get your race
Also,
card?
it doesn't work the other way.
It doesn't.
You don't pass as a white person.
It's insanely bad. We talked about it when we watched it, and I think one of the biggest contributing factors is the fact that there's so many more years of blackface technology that has been developed.
Yeah, they've been working on
a
it
lot of
for
time to
years.
get better at that one.
They had to
Yeah.
get so good at it that it's in Tropic Thunder. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They had to build a
white-face
system.
technology started in 2006. It started with white chicks.
Oh my
It's
god.
literally as good. Plus, they have to do it and like. They have to overcompensate for how obviously it's not real to the point where, they send them to a driving range because it's a white
Oh, yeah.
activity
Can you guess?
class.
I was going to say, can you guess where they send the black teenager? They send him to an etiquette class.
So it can act normal.
So what do black people do? They go to they talk about black pain and suffering in poetry slams, and white people go to etiquette school. It's
Send him to
very bad.
a comedy club, which is great, and it's like black performers only. And the whole time, the dad of the white family is just like, "What the heck are you even talking about?" And then that's when he drops on the N word from the drive.
Oh yeah, he said they didn't make fun of white people enough, and then he.
This is shit not about me.
And then his wife said the phrase "the N word" instead of actually outright saying it.
Right.
And then he is like, "Come on, they say it."
It has no right being that catchy, though.
Oh, it sucks.
That's
It's
really
kind of
irritating.
fucked up.
Please don't believe the hype. Everything in the world ain't black and white.
That's how I felt when like the Cuban Americans made a song to vote for Donald Trump.
Oh
Does it slap?
dear.
It-
Is it
a little
good?
bit.
Oh no.
It was kind of slappy.
Dude, I'm so excited that he's back. We're gonna get so much bad media.
So great.
Celebrating his
Wait.
bad personality.
Do you remember Bruno's rap? The white dad who blackfaces as a black man has a song. What is it called? A midlife rapper. Midlife.
Oh my God. Why this is you? I'm so sad that you have this in your brain. I was free.
So this is important for you to see. It's an important historical document.
This
Midlife rap. I just caught that.
Oh yeah, get ready.
is something that I made, actually, months and months ago. It's called Midlife Rap. Months before this project even came about, I bought a camera and a computer so that I can do my own video projects, and I ended up doing a rap video. After watching rap videos
I don't know what that was funny to me.
And I ended up doing a rap video. I did a rap video.
kind of frustrated, I thought, you know, the middle-aged guy or the middle-aged person should have an opportunity to speak his or her mind as well. And it's sort of
Because there's a lot of things stopping him.
You talk about this. You say yes to
today's
that
Yeah.
a lot.
scene. Nick, you might in particular like this. I'm
Nick,
anxious to show
you might like this. You might in particular like this.
You might like this because you've been to etiquette class and you've learned to be appreciative of the stuff that we enjoy doing.
Because you like rap music, and that's what I'm doing. And there's no difference between me and 50 Cent.
We're hippie hop, right?
We hip.
Midlife rap. I'm gonna try not to sing along.
You know what enough? Oh,
I'm a midlife rapper, and I rap from A to Z. I'm middle-aged and dapper with a vocabulary. No, I don't wear giant golden chains, baggy pants half down my butt. I don't disrespect the ladies. I don't call them hoes and sluts.
I forgot about the ad lib.
Like a black guy, and he's really slamming rappers. You know, just really ragging on them.
I tell tales that are squeaky clean. I stay out of police station.
It
It
gets
was
worse.
just really obnoxious. It was just like ridiculous.
I work hard to feed my children well, teach them lessons about life. You've slapped your so-called bitches, if not stabbed them once or twice.
Just hear the words, it can come out a little bit harsh and controversial.
I don't blame anyone.
He's like, I'm like, I don't know, who is he? He's like, my words are controversial. I'm a bit like Martin Luther King.
When you think about it, I actually have a dream.
Yeah.
If you can believe it.
I say the things that everyone else is afraid to say.
I don't
you
think
know?
we should stab them once or twice.
Yeah, that is the most insane leap. And then just cut to a disembodied hand
And just
doing a
going
stabbing motion.
off camera.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyone
Yeah.
for my plight, I don't blame the man who done me wrong. I don't
It's like every talking point, by the way, of like, oh yeah, I don't blame society for my shortcomings.
No.
Like black people always be doing.
Oh yeah, dude. Libertarians
That
are tooting the
race
exact.
card.
I
yeah.
don't wave my hands all around. I don't bend my fingers up and down. I don't mumble incoherently.
I don't even know what he's
wear
referring to
a
there.
Yeah, you know when we're bending our fingers up and down?
Well,
Are
it's
we-
gang signs, okay, guys.
Oh.
I've done a deep reading of Midlife Rapper by Bruno, and it is in reference
It's
to.
like all black people have carpal tunnel.
I don't have to do PT.
Yeah, black people always suffer from repetitive stress injuries, okay?
Yeah, that was not even an insult. It's just like, I'm sorry that you're struggling with the tendons in your hand.
Also, when he says, I don't mumble incoherently, I mean, I feel like
object to that.
Yeah,
I think you
wrong,
do.
yeah, one, you do. Two, I don't even think rap in this era
Was mumble rap.
mumbly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just following a ha ha ha.
And that's the thing. He's doing the like. I went to the hat store today and I bought myself a hat. Ha ha.
Yeah, he's 20 years behind.
Yeah.
He's referencing that.
Mastiff Brown. Yo!
Hello. Every reaction shot is bored or miserable, and then
And then he's just like the self satisfaction that he has.
So self-indulgent.
Oh my gosh.
At least his hat's cool.
Wait, so Gabrielle Union,
Yeah.
Neo, what was it?
Neo Ned.
Neo Ned.
Not my proudest purchase off of Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it's another thing that I think has been scrubbed from the
Yeah.
internet. She played along with Paul Rudd, I think. No. Some other guy. I can't remember what his
I
name
can
is off the
check.
top of my
No,
head.
no.
Oh, but don't look it up because I want you to guess.
Oh.
Oh.
If you heard Gabrielle Union's in a movie and it's called Neo Ned, what would you ask yourself
It's
about?
N-E-O-N-E-D.
I'm sorry.
N-E-O-N-E-D.
Yes.
Neo Ned, like a new Ned.
One word?
2 words. Neo.
Neo Ned. Oh, Neo
no.
Ned.
When did this come out?
2005.
Oh.
Well, anything goes. It's
Anything
2005. I just
The woke culture ruined media, you know?
If you wonder if it has to do with a certain very not nice sector of think World War II.
Yeah, I was thinking the first word of 2 words that generally are bad news.
Yeah.
New Nazi, neo-Nazi. She plays one?
Close.
But 2005.
she's in love with one.
There you go.
No!
There you go.
No!
Yes. She falls in love with a neo-Nazi at a psych ward. And she believes that Hitler resides within her body. And they become a, quote, unconventional love story.
Does he also believe he's having sex with Hitler?
No, that's a missed opportunity.
That sucks.
No. He's just like walking around full swastika outside. They go to a trip to a zoo.
Okay.
And they just like,
With the
Sorry, is there like lore that I'm missing? Is there like significance?
no, it's just it's like
Just a normal date
it's just-
idea.
I mean, honestly,
It's Nazis are
outside
hobbies.
of honestly outside of them like getting together, after that is just like a precursor to vlogging. It's just like me
Right.
and my neo-Nazi boyfriend.
Where would you? Okay, so
It's like a 30 Rock fake show.
yeah,
You know what
it
I
does
mean?
sound like a 30
It's a
Rock.
real
Tracy,
movie,
you what?
and it actually did well
No,
as far as
come
well,
on.
not like viewership wise, but as far as like
make its money back or something.
there's a critical response.
Really?
Yeah.
The
It
viewership
won-
was bad, but the criticism was
Yeah,
positive.
they
Like,
got,
hear
like-
us out, actually.
They actually got like some awards at like some festivals and stuff. Yeah, charming I think was a word
Wow,
that came
a
up.
charming, unconventional love
I do
tale.
feel charmed.
That we're all the same.
Oh my
They are
God.
both patients in the psychiatric facility.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
Is
And
he
one
getting
of-
treated for being a Nazi?
He's being treated. I think he killed a guy,
Oh, of course.
and they put him. And they
I don't
put
think that's
him
where you
in.
go.
And they put him in the psych ward. Trying to remember. Unfortunately, one of the scars on my career is that if you look it up, my face is there because I made a video for it.
That is.
On like the images tab, you just.
Oh yeah, I'm one of the
Oh,
first
That rules.
at that.
That's actually very cool.
Neo Ned.
Yeah, who plays the Nazi?
Who plays Neo?
Jeremy Renner. Sorry.
Oh my goodness!
They didn't talk about this on the Renner app.
Renovation, his new show.
Oh my
and
God.
Hawkeye does sound like a Nazi name.
Oh my God, have I been rude? I'm no longer on the first page of the Neo Ned.
This is
rough.
big for you.
Maybe now.
Oh
actually.
my God.
Well, this could bring it back.
Are you feeling conflicted at this moment?
A little bit.
Yeah. You're
A
like,
little bit.
on the bright side, I'm not associated as much with this
But
Nazi
also-
film.
The skinhead movie.
And also, whenever someone looked it up, I was there.
You notice a noticeable drop in your subscriber count?
What's
Nobody's
happening?
finding me.
That reminds me.
I'm
One
waiting to find-
time, do you remember when KFC and Lifetime made that short?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So
No.
With Mario Lopez.
with Mario Lopez as Colonel
hot
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders
As
for
hot Colonel
Christmas.
Sanders.
When?
Yeah.
Like 2-3
it was
years
like-
ago.
What? Yeah. It was very recent.
Crazy
Yeah.
that he's still around at all, Colonel Sanders of any type.
I played the dating sim.
Oh, the
yeah.
dating sim. Yeah,
I
I
love
was
you,
late
Colonel
to the dating.
Sanders Sama or something.
Yeah, it's yeah. So I
love love. You know.
The
Colonel
reason I
Sanders King.
brought that up was because I made a video about it and it got more views than I was expecting. But the reason that it did was I looked at the analytics and I saw that a lot of the views were coming from external sources, including Google search. And I found out that people and also a lot of views were coming from India. And this is relevant because my video was titled I can't remember specifically, but it was just something like "Why did KFC make a sexy movie?" or something. and so people in India were specifically, and the analytics showed me this, were searching "sexy movie," and then thinking that my video was pornography, and watching it for 50 seconds max. Like the watch time. You know how like you watch
KFC is in the title.
the KFC is in the title. So like normally the watch time will be a few minutes on like the video is maybe 20 minutes long. You'd expect the watch time, bad watch time would be like 7 minutes. or
Maybe
something
they
like
thought
that.
like KFC was like BBW or something.
Yeah.
They thought it was like a porn acronym. Kentucky Fried.
I don't want to think about the C word there. Yeah. Nope.
Kentucky
nope.
Fried Cock.
Eject. What happened? Why isn't it going?
We're grabbing your parachute as you try and get out of there.
It's not what you think, Mama.
But
The bit ejection butter is gone.
yeah, the watch time on this 20-minute video for this specific niche was 50 seconds. So people were like, "This isn't very sexy," and then they clicked off.
I'm looking for a sexy video.
Okay.
Sexy movie, in fact.
I
Feature
do love
length.
the concept though of somebody like getting ready to like have some personal time, you know, and typing in "sexy movie" into the Google search bar.
I don't want to be too lewd. I don't want
Yeah.
nudity, but I'd like it to be
I'd
sexy.
like it to be a sexy movie. This isn't very sexy at all. This means just talking about a
I feel like
film.
plausible deniability. If
Yeah.
you were like looking for, like I was
Your Honor.
I was just looking for a movie that is just like not sex, but it's sexy.
Sexy.
Sex-ish.
You know?
Sex-ish.
Sexish movie.
Sexish movie.
Sex-esque.
Sex adjacent movie.
Yeah, I'm looking for an educational film, actually.
Looking for an educational sex-like film.
My WikiHow on what is sex.
What is? Oh, that would be a fun article.
But there's 1,000.
Okay, let's do it. WikiHow.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, but I actually know, so like I don't even need to.
No, yeah, I'm like
No, just for like
What is it?
research
Just-
purposes.
yeah,
I'm
Just
fucking
like-
shit. Is that a good one?
pro.
So there's how to make sex better with pictures.
I thought it was gonna say how to make sex. And I was- I guess
3 ways to wait to have sex. That's like an abstinence thing, maybe?
probably.
Maybe.
How to have phone sex. 7 steps? That's a lot.
How to have
Find
sex without
person who would
falling in
agree to
love.
do it.
Yeah.
Then
Be
would you
cringe.
like it to have the phone sex? And then you get on the phone and then you say sexy things.
I actually in a comment when we were hanging out with, we were getting dinner last night with some friends of ours, and we were having phone sex as a group. But we just ended up on the topic. Oh, it was the Adam Levine cringy like sex.
What was
Do you
it?
remember
Like,
those? Your body is insane.
Insane.
Your body is insane.
Or what is it
yeah.
like?
emoji.
It wasn't like holy guacamole was one of them or something.
Holy nacho cheese.
Holy fuck, holy fucking fuck, I believe was one of them. And we were just talking about how, like, okay, if you're Adam Levine, you need to have a sense of self-preservation to the point where you just never even reply. You just, like, can't do
Yeah.
anything. You need a pseudonym at the very least.
Yeah.
But if, like, I'm sure we all do, I've received some, saucy DMs here and there.
Yeah.
And if I have ever replied, it has always been with the email cadence of like a PR man. It's always been like, it's like, hey, can I send you a pic? I'm like, thank you so much for the offer. My client is currently fine
Out of
on
office.
that.
My client is fully out of office.
Can I
This
reach out
is
to you
his
in
manager.
Q3? It feels like more of a Q3 discussion.
Yeah, your message has been received. Unfortunately, Jordan is away from the
Q3,
keyboard
like
right
a
now.
cuffing season.
Yeah.
It's like it's a backlog.
When we hit about 72 degrees for the season, you will be made fun of for saying like,
you will be
hey,
head
what's
of the
up?
queue. Yeah.
Hi, this is ChatGPT, and I'm an automated response. Jordan definitely did not see this DM.
Would you be interested in using an encrypted messaging service?
If you'd like to contact Jordan, please reach him via this Telegram number.
I don't have time to sex, so I just have an eye.
Do you have access to Morse code?
Oh,
the
man.
AI to just say holy fucking fucking.
Holy fucking fuck.
Yeah, ChatGPT's still doing that.
Don't.
Yeah, there was a guy, I made a video about him, who like wrote some code to like automate messages to people on dating apps, and he would send them quotes from movies, specifically American Psycho. What
the fuck?
And it is as bad as it sounds.
That's Beau.
That sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Probably. Oh, whoa, wow.
Oh, he's a very bad guy.
Oh.
But he's a romantic. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah, it's
Thought I was getting some pointers. Like, oh, I can.
no,
make an
it's
AI.
more about like American Psycho is not a movie about a good
What
man.
a great reference point. Yeah.
What quote are you using from American Psycho?
It's a business card scene.
Oh, it's none of the good ones. There's no good quotes. It's like literally it's like I get what I want. Or just like weird.
Pre-chainsaw drop. Just like,
Yeah, it's him. It's him talking about Huey Lewis in the news.
Yeah, it's a very weird.
Yeah.
He made a whole video.
Sorry.
No, he made a whole video about it, and it was like meant to be like, look at this cool thing I did, and it really was like, this is embarrassing. Please delete.
I have to return some videotapes.
Yeah.
Okay. Not really a hit up.
I was thinking we could land this plane we call an episode of Sad Boys, and we'll move on to our Patreon exclusive show. On the Patreon, we're going to talk about the time XQC came to my New Year's party.
Oh, yeah. Because he's not a patron from my understanding.
Yeah, I'll talk about. I had a New Year's party, and a lot of people who I wasn't expecting came to the party. One of them was XQC, one of the most subscribed Twitch streamers.
Let's just say one of their names includes Jong-un.
Huh?
Kim Jong-un.
No. No, he wasn't there.
Oh, I'm misremembering, I guess.
No, but it was a wild time. There's a lot of cool stories from that night, and we've never talked about it before because I didn't want to dox any information about it. But
That's true.
I'm just
fuck it.
nosy. So.
But maybe you've seen that photo of Hassan kissing Curtis Connor. Happened right here. Oh. Right here. Right where I'm sitting, basically on the floor is where that happened. And maybe you'll hear a little bit about that as well. Anyway, check it out on patreon.com/sadboys.
Come on, please.
Kenny JD, Kendall,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
is
for
there
having
anything
me.
that you want to tell the people?
Patrons, be a patron.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
you can be a patron.
You
And-
do
and
YouTube.
I do things on the internet. Kenny JD, YouTube and Twitter. Also Twitch, but I don't tell people about.
Secret Twitch. Oh, shit.
Secret Twitch, where debauchers think. No, I just play,
Sexy
I just
movie.
I just play God of War
Sounds pretty debaucherous.
and talk shit about like old dating stories, and it's funny.
Ooh.
I'm not plugging that though. That's
okay.
a secret.
Can we get some dating stories from you on the bonus as well?
Absolutely.
Oh, let's do that. All right. We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase. We love you.
And we're sorry.
Boom.
And then he goes, I know you said that you wouldn't want to stay friends. And before he could finish, I just hung up.
Let's go.
You're ice cold.
Once again, keeping the little man down.
Old Kenny heartbreaker.
Yeah. How does she keep getting away with it?
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it.
Girl, too rich for me.